Quick question. Why do people making $250,000 a year still feel broke? 36% of them live paycheck to paycheck. 88 million Americans call their finances a crisis in a quote healthy, unquote economy. In the next 10 minutes, the 24% robbery nobody noticed, the app in your pocket making it worse, and the test that shows whether you are actually broke or just convinced you are. Most people get their own answer wrong. Here's the weird part. On paper, the economy is fine. Unemployment, 4.2%. Low. Inflation, 3%. Calm. Economists look at these numbers, lean back, and shrug. But ask actual humans and everything flips. Consumer sentiment just hit 50.3. For context, that is 2008 territory. Lehman Brothers, world on fire levels of gloom during a quote healthy, unquote economy. 54% of Americans now live paycheck to paycheck. 34%, that's 88 million adults, describe their own finances as struggling or in crisis. 5 years ago, it was 22%. And money has officially become the #1 anxiety in America. Bigger than health. Bigger than relationships. So the spreadsheets say fine, and the people say help. Same country, same economy. Somebody must be lying, right? Nobody is. Both are telling the truth at the same time, and that's the actual story. Which leaves the one question this whole video is building to. Is your bank account actually broke? Or is your brain lying to you? Keep that question. The answer comes at the very end, and for most people, it's not the one they expect. First, a single shopping cart explains the entire mystery. Meet the cart. In 2019, your weekly groceries cost $150. Same cart, same cheese, same sad frozen pizza today. $186. That's $1,872 a year, vanished for the privilege of eating the same food. Now, here's the trick nobody explains on the news. When they announce inflation is down to 3%, prices did not go down. They are still climbing, just slower than before. Overall prices are about 24% higher than in 2020, and they are never going back. Ever. This is the core glitch. Economists measure the speed. You live in the total. They're celebrating that the car slowed down. You're staring at how far it already drove, away from your paycheck. Sure, salaries went up on paper. But for most regular people, the entire raise got eaten at the register, by rent, by insurance, by everything. Psychologists actually have a name for what you're feeling right now. Grief. The permanent loss of affordability. You're not imagining it. You're mourning it. Okay, but that explains normal paychecks. It does not explain the guy making $250,000. Let's open his wallet. New York City. Single guy. $250,000 a year. Top 5% of the entire country. Rich, right? Watch this. First bite. Taxes. Roughly $90,000 gone before he sees a cent. He's at $160. Rent for a normal, not fancy, New York apartment. About $44,000 a year. He's at $116. One kid in daycare. $24,500. He's at $91. Now run everything that got 24% more expensive. Food, health insurance, the car, the dentist, the vet, the birthday gifts. And suddenly the rich guy is checking his banking app before booking a flight. That is how 36% of $250,000 families end up paycheck to paycheck. Now, is some of this self-inflicted? Oh, absolutely. Lifestyle creep is real. The salary doubles, the apartment upgrades, the car upgrades, the coffee gets a middle name. The treadmill speeds up exactly as fast as you run. But here's the honest math. Even without the fancy stuff, every single rung of the ladder got more expensive. The feeling of broke has stopped caring about your income. And for one entire generation, the feeling doesn't even need real numbers anymore. It comes pre-installed. There's a new financial condition, and it lives in your pocket. It's called money dysmorphia, feeling poor, while your actual numbers are fine. 43% of Gen Z has it, 41% of millennials. And of everyone who has it, 95% admit the feeling is actively damaging their finances. Panic saving, doom spending, or freezing completely and doing nothing for years. Where does it come from? Simple. You open your phone. Someone your age is in Mykonos. Swipe. Someone your age just bought a house with a kitchen island the size of your bedroom. Swipe. Someone your age is unboxing a G-Wagon. Your brain never sees the loans behind it, the sponsorship deals, the rented villa, the maxed-out credit cards screaming off camera. It just runs the ancient comparison program. Them, 1. You, 0. 100 times a day, 365 days a year. Your grandparents compared themselves to the neighbors, maybe 30 households, mostly equally broke. You compare yourself to the richest, luckiest, most photogenic 0.1% of the planet, professionally filmed, color-graded, and pushed into your face by an algorithm that profits from your envy. Of course you feel broke. So is the whole thing just in your head? Not so fast. Because one thing is very much not in your head: the house. For your parents, buying a home was the finish line, the proof you made it. For a huge part of this generation, that finish line got quietly canceled. Mortgage rates sit around 6.7%. Everyone who locked in 3% years ago is never, ever selling. It's called the lock-in effect, and it froze the housing market solid. Homes for sale are near a 30-year low, and America is short millions of housing units. Do the math. Even with a genuinely good salary, the milestone your parents hit at 30 simply is not on the shelf at your price. And when the finish line disappears, every paycheck starts feeling pointless, no matter how big it is. Why save for a down payment on a house that keeps running away faster than you can chase it? Meanwhile, your parents look up from their 3% mortgage, genuinely confused, and ask why you don't just buy a nice little starter home. There are almost none for sale, at double the interest. That's the conversation happening at a million dinner tables right now. That's not dysmorphia, that's arithmetic. And on top of today's prices sits tomorrow's fear. 62% of Americans worry they won't have enough for retirement. 60% are afraid one serious illness could financially end them. Half the country says the cost of living is already derailing their goals for this year, and 4 in 10 got blindsided by one single unexpected expense. A car repair, a root canal. That's all it takes now. So people walk around bracing, waiting for the other shoe to drop, holding their money like a shield instead of spending or investing it. This is the part nobody puts in the economic reports. Fear taxes your money before you even spend it. When the future feels unsafe, every dollar in your pocket feels smaller, because it's already spoken for by a disaster that hasn't happened yet. You're not just paying today's prices, you're prepaying tomorrow's panic. Your body has been keeping the receipts this whole time. Nearly 70% of Americans say financial uncertainty makes them depressed or anxious. 41% report chronic physical symptoms from money stress. Actual back pain from a bank account. Work change too. Remember the Great Resignation, when everyone quit to find themselves? Dead. Welcome to the big stay. Nobody quits anymore. Not because they're happy, because they're scared. There's a word for this whole era: Vibecession. The data says we're okay. The vibes say we are absolutely not. And here's the uncomfortable truth economists hate. The vibes are also data. They're just measuring the things the spreadsheet can't see. Time to answer the question from the beginning. Is your account broke, or is your brain lying? Here's the uncomfortable truth. For most people watching this, it's the brain. The prices are real. The housing math is real. But if you have savings, no card debt, and you still feel one step from disaster, that's dysmorphia, not poverty. And you can fix it. 3 moves. Move 1. Audit reality. The cure for money dysmorphia is your own numbers. Income, spending, what's actually left. One boring spreadsheet beats 1,000 Instagram villas. Because your brain believes what it sees, and right now it only sees other people's highlight reels. If your numbers are okay, believe the numbers, not the feed. Move 2. Fight the 24% where it actually lives. You cannot vote prices back down, and skipping lattes won't save you. The card is a symptom. Fixed costs are the disease. Renegotiate the big three: housing, transport, and that graveyard of subscriptions you forgot you're paying for. 1 hour of boring phone calls beats a year of latte guilt. Then automate what's left. Money that moves to savings before you see it can't be doom spent at midnight. Move 3. Buy assets, not appearances. The people you're comparing yourself to are mostly renting the illusion of rich and paying interest on it. Owning boring things that quietly pay you back is the version of rich without the credit card screaming. Broke is sometimes a balance, but in 2026, more often it's a feeling, with very real causes. Now you know both, which puts you ahead of almost everyone still doom scrolling. One question left. If everyone feels broke, where did all the money actually go? Someone's collecting it. Next video, we follow the trail. Every way inflation quietly steals from you, piece by piece. Subscribe so you don't miss the heist. And tell me in the comments, honestly, what do you earn? And does it feel like enough? I'll read every answer.